All right, hello. So I'm going to be going over some of the problems. So I'm going to start with this page because I feel like this is the harder page. So let me go ahead and get started with this one. So I'm going to move this one aside, but I'm going to be working out problem number 1. So I have like a little anchor chart right here. And it's going to be, so I call this area and perimeter of irregular shape. So if you want to copy down the anchor chart so that you can have it, you can. So here's the example. Like I said, this is problem number 1. So the 3 things that we do, these are our 3 steps. Number 1, you find all the missing sides. So obviously we have 2 sides that are missing, so we have to find what those are first. Second, we're going to be solving for perimeter, so we're going to be adding. Okay. And then third, we're going to be solving for area. So this one's going to have 2 steps. We're going to be multiplying, and then we need to add both areas together. So let's go ahead and start with solving the missing sides, okay? So I've talked about a regular rectangle before. So this is a normal rectangle, all right? We talked about how opposite sides are equal. So this side's equal to this side, all right? And then the reds are equal to each other. So keeping that in mind, let's look at this irregular polygon, all right? So I'm missing this side right here, this chunk. So what side matches this side? So obviously it would be the opposite side, kind of like on that picture. So this side would match, okay? And another one that would match would be this side right here. So these 2 sides together would give me this big side, all right? So blank plus 4 is going to give me 10. Or to figure out this side, I could do 10 minus 4, which would give me 6. So this side is 6, okay? Keeping that in mind, what would match this side? Okay, so this one would match this side, and then this one, again, opposite sides, so the bottom to the top, okay? So those 2 would match each other. So this side's 25, this little piece is 15, and this little piece we don't know. But 15 plus the unknown should give us 25. So how do I figure that out? So you would do 25 minus 15, that should give you 10. So this little piece that's missing should be 10. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that out on my number 1. So this would be, we said 6, and this one would be 10. Now that I have all my sides, I can add them together. Okay, so you can group things up. So you can say 10 plus 10 is 20. Okay, so these could be 20 together. I know that 4 and 6 is another 10. Okay, so 20 plus another 10, that gives me 30. So I could do 30 plus 15 plus 25. Or you can add 1 by 1, which is what I'm going to do. All right, so you decide how you're going to do that. Just make sure that you have all your sides, okay? So I'm going to do, and I'm going to take this off because I'm going to need some space. So 10 plus 10, okay, plus 4 plus 15 plus 25 plus 6. Okay, so I'm going to have 10, 10, 4, 15, 25, 6. All right, I got everything. So 10 plus 10 gives me 20. Okay, plus 4 more, plus 15, plus 25, plus 6. Okay, 20 plus 4 gives me 24, plus 15, plus 25, plus 6. 24 plus 15, if I don't know how to do that, then I'm going to do it on the side. 24 plus 15, that gives me 39, plus 25 plus 6, plus 25, 9 plus 5 gives me, oops, messed up, 9 plus 5 gives me 14. Now I have 3 plus 2 plus 1. That gives me 64. Plus 6 gives me 70. Okay, so my perimeter would be 70. All right, so how did I do that? I just added all the sides and I made sure that I had all of them. Okay, so add all the sides and that gave me 70 for my perimeter, 70 feet. All right, and then for step 3, we're gonna find the area. So for this one, we have to do 2 steps because we don't know. I'm gonna put multiplying first. We don't know how to find the area of irregular polygons. We've only learned of how to find the area of squares and rectangles. So I'm gonna erase how I found that part so that way it's not confusing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to split my irregular polygon up. So I have 2 irregular polygons, okay? So now I can manage it. So to find the area, we have to do length times width, and same for this one. Area equals length times width. All right, and I have to multiply the length times the width. Now here I have 10, 25, sorry, I have 10, 10, 25, and 4. So which sides am I gonna use? I have 10, 10, 25, and 4. So I would hope you said 10 times 10 because we can't use 4 because this is only this little piece, okay? We need the whole thing. And we can't use 25 because the 25 is part of both of them, okay? We're just looking at this part right here, all right? So we can't use 25 because 25 is this whole line and it's in both of the shapes, and we just need this one. So the only 2 lengths that are just part of this one are 10 and 4. I mean, sorry, 10 and 10. So 10 times 10 gives us 100, okay? For this one, again, we can't use 25 because it's in both of them. So the only ones that go with this rectangle are 15 and 6. So we're going to do 15 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. And then 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 more is 90. So now that we multiplied, that's done. Now I have to add both areas. So 100 plus 90 gives me 190. All right, so that's how you do that one. And the rest of the homework, guys, it's super simple. So here's our star song. So I would hope watch the other videos so that you know how to do this one. This one for science, I went ahead and gave you the movement one just because I didn't really talk about this, but we did talk about how the sun doesn't move. We're the ones moving, so that's why it feels like the sun's moving in the sky. And we for sure didn't talk about this. We talked about how the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, but we didn't talk about the direction that the earth rotates. So the earth rotates from west to east, okay? And then this is a mock star homework review because we do have our math mock star coming up. So for this one, you would have to multiply, right? Because the word product means to multiply. It means multiplication, all right? So you would multiply these 2 numbers and then you would write them in standard form. This just means just the number. Like it's a fancy word for just writing the answer. That's it, okay? Word form, you write it in words. In expanded notation, you would do it in expanded notation. So let's pretend our answer is, this is not the real answer, this is a pretend. Let's pretend our answer is this, 2 and 59/100ths. So we would do 2 times 1 because it's in the ones place, and this 2 has a value of 1. Okay, so it's in the ones place. And then we're going to do plus 5 times 1/10 because it's in the tenths place. Okay, And then we're going to do 9 times 100, 1 over 100th, okay? Because it's in the hundredths place. All right, so for this one, you can draw your place value chart. You can do anything you need to do, but again, this is not the answer. This was just an example to show you how to do expanded notation. For rounding, I would hope that you would do your number line. Okay, so this one says round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so our hundredths place is right here. I'm going to go ahead and underline my hundredths place. All right, so we know that this is going to be our starting point. 13, 4, and 450. So the number that it's next to it, we're going to add a 0 to it. It's not going to be 6. This is one of our endpoints. We add a 0 to it. Our other endpoint, we go 1 up. Okay, so what's 1 up from the hundredths place? We're going to do 13 and 460. All right. And then our midpoint should be in between 50 and 60, which would be 55. So we're going to have 13, 455 thousandths. All right. So where would this number go in our number line? That number would go right here. 13 and 456. So since it's above our midpoint, this is our mid. That means we would round up, okay? So I would expect you to do the same thing over here. And these are word problems, guys. This one's a word problem. Then the entire back is word problems as well. So I would expect you to use one of the 4 operations: multiplying, adding, subtracting, or dividing. And we talked about it, about what would you do for each of those. Okay, so I was explaining this one and then I got cut off. So let me go ahead and explain it again. So basically for this one, guys, you would have to turn them all into fractions or all into decimals. My suggestion to you is to turn them into decimals, because when you have a fraction, since this is 75 hundredths, you would have to simplify this a lot, okay? So how do we turn fractions into decimals? Let me help you. So the first thing you're going to do, so the first fraction we had was 1/2. So what you're going to do is you're going to write the numerator inside and the denominator on the outside. Kind of like when we go from improper to mixed. Okay, so the same thing. And then I'm going to do my tic-tac-toe on the side. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm going to leave it there. Okay, so how many times does 2 go into 1? It can't. So I'm going to add a decimal. So how many times does 2 go into 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times. And you want to do this until you zero out. Okay. So 1/2 equals 5 tenths. All right. And for the other one, the other one is 5/8. So we have 5/8. So again, you would do 5 and then 8. So how many, I'm already adding a 0 because I know it's not going to fit. So how many times does 8 go into 5? 0. I'm going to do my little tic-tac-toe. And you know what? I'm going to do it somewhere else because I don't want it to take up a lot of space. So 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and I'm going to leave it there because I don't think I'll need more than that. So how many times does 8 go into 50? So 6 times. How many times does 8 go into 20? 2 times. Again, you want to do this until you zero out. How many times does 8 go into 40? Okay, so 5 times. So I finally zeroed out. So 5/8 is equivalent to 625 thousandths. All right, so that's how you convert numbers from decimals, from fractions to decimals. All right, yay! Like I said, the rest of them should be easy. This one, I have anchor charts here in the classroom that can help you with these if you need help with it, and this one too, okay? So if you don't understand, I can help you at school. But all the other ones, it shouldn't be that hard, all right? All right, bye guys.